waves.
All right, everybody, hello. Welcome on in to another episode of Choose Greatness with myself and OchO. First, I'm going to ask, how is my voice? How is it compared to the music, which just turned down a little bit? Can you hear me? Is everything good? OchO, if you want to say a little bit of whatever you want to say, just so they can test your voice level.
I don't like feuding. I don't like complaining, but I'm here to help.
There we go. And those are the keys of life. You wish the Tekken code was a poster. I mean, there is a free Tekken code out there right now. What is it? THX Tekken or Tekken THX? And you get 10 free hype pulls for doing absolutely nothing but entering a code. So, however, welcome everybody on in. Trying to do the CSS pointless. We are I don't even remember what episode we're on, but this is episode number of the Choose Greatness series that OchO has started. I will be helping him. I will be your guide today. We are going to try to navigate Feud. And we have picked probably a hell of a weekend to talk about Feud, because everything you've known about Feud before, I'd say, what, 80% of it got flipped on its head this week?
I mean, they changed 40 things at once.
Yeah. I know
At Fiverr, we offer 3D rendering services.
we were, both pretty out there when they started announcing all these changes, and we're like, okay, so we're gonna make it 1v1 feud. We're gonna change the entire scoring system. We're gonna change the loot system. We're gonna change everything under the sun here. Let's go take a look at the actual event, because even more weird is they took you used to have your solo contest, and then you had your war score contest, which was war score and CSS, and now they just said, why don't we just put everything together into one big super cluster contest? Yeah, there's no... Well, there is technically a faction contest, but the faction contest is just war score, which I don't... Okay, I could hit view results. That's not what I want. You could go in, and then there will be prizes, depending on where you finish as a faction. Personally, I don't think any of these prizes are worth it, especially for the people that are going to hit these milestones. Most of the stuff in them they already got. So, I think when it comes to feuding overall, I think the number one question is what I had on the intro screen is, what is your feud goal going to be for this weekend? Is your feud goal to finish your CSS, get everything you can that way, and then step away? Is your goal to max the event, which they put some loot coins at the end of the event now? Scroll all the way down here, and if you can get to the max, which is quote-unquote available doing nothing but grinding war score, in and out like a thief in the night, they do have 300 shards and 25 loot points in the final milestone. Your aim is to max it for free. Okay.
All right, good luck.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like I said, everything's new, so we're not sure how the numbers are all going to pan out. I've seen one faction say that this is going to be the hardest to event, or the hardest to max event that we've ever had. I've seen another faction say, hey, if the scoring is what it's supposed to be, which is also something they changed, which we can lean into, that this event could easily be maxed just by feuding. So I think there's going to be a lot of variables in that. Let's go look at the rules here. So let's start off here by going down these rules and look at the new point scoring. So, I'm going to skip the top line because that's not going to come into place until the end. So, for every 3,000 points of damage, you're getting 1 point. I'm going to skip over all of these star opponents because I don't think any of them amount to anything unless they're at least 6-star. So 6-star bronze, you're getting 125k, 6-star silver, 150k, and then 6-star gold, 200k. So our goals right now are, we want characters that can do a lot of damage, and we want characters that can beat other 6-star superstars. Main concern is the matchmaking. Yeah, we'll get into that here in a little bit. So the other new thing they added is the first time you win with a superstar in each brawl. Let me explain what that means. Let's say I am feuding with 3 people. I have 3 people in my feud lineup. I go and I face 3 people. Every time I win a match once with that person, the first time only, so it's not every time you win, but person A defeats their person A. Person B defeats their person B. Person C defeats their person C. All of my score is going to get multiplied by 3 for those battles. So just by doing that, you have already tripled your score. Now, that's not always going to be feasible, because you're going to have cases where you're going to find that team that has the hype 4s. You're going to have that team that has the... And it's going to be, hey, how am I going to beat this person? And we're going to get into that when you're constructing your lineup as well. So, we are not sure if the matchmaking was skewed. We requested that matchmaking should definitely have some sort of hype involvement, or else you're going to have people that have 3 total hype going up against people that have 12 total hype, and that just creates a mismatch altogether. But we're going to try to we're going to try to make it to where that is a little bit easier for you. So, OchO, would you say that it is more important to get your CSS done first, or just focus on war score throughout, or try to do a mixture of both?
I don't think you should worry about CSS early on, is my personal take on it, for the reason of they changed it so much that you just want to be comfortable with it. So like once you get your feet under you, you say like, okay, I don't need these 2 powerhouses. I'm fine with just one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need this. I'm fine with just that. Oh, I could sneak in a Hall of Famer here. Like, worry about putting in a good lineup first that you can run with, see where you are. I think everybody who's normal takes a break at some point in the feud. You can regroup and say, okay, here's what I want to change. Here's what I want to focus on.
So, with that change and what we're getting in, as you can see, there's only one spot down here in the queue. This feud is going to be completely 1v1. There's not going to be any partner to wait on, to come and save you, to XYZ. It is yourself and you're on your own. This overall could be a massive, and I know what OchO thinks about it, a massive quality of life change to your feuding.
Oh yeah, I mean this is why I didn't want them to change so many things at once, because like there might be some individual thing about the event people don't like, and then they'll complain about everything. Changing to 1v1 is like life changing for feuds, because hey, you join a brawl and you fall asleep, your partner's yelling at you, you're getting tagged on Discord, and it's rude, right? You join a brawl and you got to do something at home, you're gonna leave your partner waiting for you. That's gone. That's done. You join, do whatever you want. It's only your time, and it's your 30 minutes. You do whatever the hell you want with it. It's such a healthier quality of life improvement that you could actually enjoy a video game instead of being prisoner to it.
And I know I know the sadness and the camaraderie. For how long in the game I was part of the quote-unquote tag team champions of the world, XYZ. I had a few different feud partners, and I understand my partner's what I liked about feud. But really, in essence, I mean, you could get together in a Discord voice chat, you could do XYZ, you could say, hey, I just fought this person, so this person's running MP down on this card. I don't think it's too far of breaking up the team aspect.
Yeah, I mean, go on a voice chat with your buddies.
Yeah.
You could still joke about what's in there. I mean, you're not going to be able to yell about getting Modfather out of the queue, but
Yeah, I know. OchO brought up the point before his wife says, hey, can you do this for me? And he has to go, well, I need 5 minutes because I don't want to hold my partner up. So, quality of life for him. For me, if I even start to feel the slightest bit of tiredness, I have to stop feuding. It's like, I could not imagine waking up 30 minutes later to 37 Discord tags of, hey, do you got this? You're still engaged. What's going on? And it's like, I can't trust myself. I got that old man syndrome where you sit down in a recliner and you never know what can happen. But, massive quality of life change there. Can you still yell plunger and you can still yell plunger. There's going to be cases where the plunger might have left the game, but it's bad.
I'm supposed to get royalties when people yell it, but
So let's go into our feud lineup. This is the bread and butter. This is what people are going to want to know. And it was said in chat earlier, matchmaking is going to be the biggest variable, and the only thing we can do is get you as prepared for it as possible. You might go into a lineup where you are just overpowering this person with your hype, with your characters, and then the next matchup, all of a sudden you're facing all hype 4s, some of them have 99 MP, XYZ.
That's exactly why I'm saying not to focus on CSS at the beginning. It's because we've never done this before. You don't know what it's going to be like. Maybe you're feuding against the same faction every time. Maybe it's like you run a small lineup, but you still get somebody with 9 6-star golds. Like, without knowing what's going to happen, you might as well just go in with your best lineup that you're most comfortable with and then tweak it from there.
You think you know me?
Like, get the lay of the land, get your feet under you first.
So, I would say that my first piece of advice, if you agree, is bring your number one best, most reliable person, and probably don't change them for the entire night.
I mean, you don't want to get caught in a position where you get timed out for 30 minutes because you couldn't finish their line. So you need one card who, like, come hell or high water, that card can clear the line. So whether it's a stun card, whether it's whatever you're most comfortable with, you got to bring up one card that's a go-to.
So let me just pick, and not a lot of people can dodge move damage. Axe is going to be that card for me. So the other thing I'm going to do, because almost every card in the game is suspect to MP down. There is a couple 1 MP people, but the odds of you having the 1 MP and you having the height 4, if you have both, good for you. If you don't, you are going to want to make sure you have your MP up prop for whatever character it is your super going into it. I'm not a person, I cannot enjoy the game if I have to look at every single one of my opponent's characters, look at every single one of their MP reductions, try to remember what their reversals do. I would drive myself nuts if it took me 20 minutes of feud and 15 minutes of it I was spending looking at my people. So, one piece of advice that I'm going to give. If you go into a battle and now this extra time does not matter because you don't have a partner. If you go into a battle and you go, oh crap, I didn't see that they had Acro Cena, Ghostbuster Cena. I have no red MP. They're going to smack me if I give them a turn. So as long as you have first turn, you can shut the game off. Close the game. As long as you don't make an action, which can be using a prop, which could be swiping, as long as you do nothing and you restart the game, you get to re-edit your character. You get to go into that match. You don't lose the HP. That match never happened.
No.
So that is a cheat code that you can also use to your advantage if something doesn't go your way or you didn't see anything. Because like I said, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that if you play 25 brawls tonight and you face 4 posters every brawl, to look through and see what they have on their entourage, what plates they're using, I think the only one I automatically assume that Smash has his -4 MP gear, whether he's wearing it or not.
Yeah, I thought I was slick, not equipping it.
Yeah, see? So it's just automatically assumed there. But, so, number 1, make sure you're bringing your best guy to begin with. Number 2, make sure you have the props in case something goes wrong, but at the same time, remember that as long as you have first turn and nothing else happened, you could restart the game. So we have our best guy in the lineup. This is going to be our fail-safe. Ocho, what would you put as your number 2 character going into your first brawl?
So I do play it a little bit differently, and I also want to make the episode something that like people can refer to in terms of like general strategy. Now, I don't know how much Feud's going to change from here on, so maybe some of this is useless. But what I typically start with from there, like once I've picked my best card, is it's almost like I'm taking turns, right? Like, okay, I picked my card. Now I'm going to let the opponent pick their card. So if I'm looking at this lineup right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
The number one card that is probably guaranteed, like the most likely card that I'm going to be facing is going to be Showboat Seth for two reasons. One, there's a Seth requirement in the middle lane. And two, they just sold him left and right. So if I'm assuming that I'm going to be facing people who have Showboat Seth, I want to figure out, well, what are they going to do with their Showboat Seth? So they're going to be most likely to attack a striker. So like in your case, you've got Axe. I would configure my Axe. I know we're not getting into the builds yet, but what I'm saying is I would configure my Axe under the assumption that Seth is going to attack Axe.
Mm-hmm.
And so keep that in mind. So for me, when I'm thinking about Seth, like, okay, the most common moveset, triple red, nobody really reverses reinforced in a meaningful way. Few cards reverse the increased gem damage.
Mm-hmm.
So for that one, I'm going to say, all right, let me throw in Hall of Fame Ron Simmons, Farouk, because he's going to reverse Seth's move, and he's a striker, so people are going to be likely to attack him with Seth or not attack him, and that's going to kind of slow down their process.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be my second choice. My quote unquote second draft pick would actually be Hall of Fame Ron.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a. Let me go.
And there conveniently is a striker slot down there at the bottom. If you have you only need one gear for
the
Hall
MP.
of Fame. Yeah, you don't need the second gear. It's kind of useless. So good. There were two questions that Churu, I don't know. Churros, like what's your name? Whatever your name is in chat, I like you. But you had two good questions. So the first one was, if you can't clear the opponent, can you just quit and like kill all your characters? As far as I know, that's unconfirmed. Like I think we assume it works that way because Blitz works that way.
Mm-hmm.
It might not. You might, like some people report that they've had to sit there for the whole 30 minutes anyway. And second of all, to somebody else's point, like that is a lot of health packs. So to answer that first question, I'm not sure about that.
Mm-hmm.
But for the other question about will I set up based on defense? I mean, generally, yes. Like some of it is for fun, like some of it is just a competitive thing. I'm not necessarily trying to make somebody's experience worse, but it's like, this is a 1v1 matchup now. Like, I don't want to give somebody freebies.
And also, with the negative MP, if you know that your character can hit and you have an extra slot in the back, throw a negative MP on, not for defense, but for offense. You go in and that is, hey, I didn't look at something. Well, they have an MP down, I have an MP down. So now we're on even playing field. We just swipe it out, and then I get to use my moves on the next turn.
Definitely made me feel broken. It would work, then it wouldn't work. Prior to...
Yeah, I mean, Hall of Fame Ron, I think, is a great go-to. The only, like, hype isn't super available for him. Like, most people have had to use wildcard hype, but, I mean, other than that, he's a good call.
So, I know the matchmaking typically before, again, this is new, so this might not be happening the same way. It goes off roster talent. What would you say? Do you think for this feud, 1v1, roster talent isn't going to matter at all? If you're confident in your people, you can go a little higher. Do you think it's best to play it safe in the 100, 150 range?
It really just depends on your level of play and proficiency and what you're comfortable with. Like, if you know you can, like, you've got it on lock, you can clear everybody no matter what, then I would say go heavy with your best cards and just be ready to take as big of a lineup as you can face. If you are somebody who has like one or two cards you're comfortable with, and then, it's a real chore for you to get through requirements. For example, you're doing PG era, but you don't have like Punk or Drew, like the some of those top cards. For that, you're going to have to be probably a little bit more safe. And so you might just do the bottom line, for example, like run with 4. It's hard. Again, last week or 2 weeks ago, I could have told you a more confident answer. Mm-hmm. With these changes, I mean, it's like we got to wait and see.
Yeah. It's like they really flipped everything on us right before here. And another thing I noticed with people that I know that a certain faction is known for fill as much as you can, go as high as you can. I mean, if you're looking and you just want like a 10% bonus, and let's say these three, I'm very comfortable with who I have, there's nothing wrong with throwing an extra guy in and looking for your absolute lowest talent to complete a lane. Getting the extra 10% for 3 people. And another thing, he's probably as low as I can go because I know I did Raw before, is don't forget that you can come in here and you can put your lowest moves in and it'll lower the talent down.
And then on top of that, the nice little feature here is you can go with somebody. So can you try to swap him out? Try to swap out Ricochet, and I'll show you what I would do.
Mm-hmm.
So just looking at your roster, I'd probably put in the fat guy. What's that?
Ivar.
Okay, yeah. I mean, maybe I don't know if you could put in lower moves on him. Like 18,000 is probably a little high for what you're trying to do. But the point is, if you're going to fill it with fodder, if your fodder is hype 4, you're going to get more points just from defense.
That is also a great indicator. So yeah, throw in the hype 4. It is 16k because he is 6-star bronze. He does have some, but the passive is, there we go. That's what I was looking for. So let's explain this here. When your hyped superstars lose on defense, and this is what's funny about people that want to play defensive cards, you get a bonus % of your opponent's brawl score. So, let me if this works how I understand it with the ×3. So, I'm height 4, which would give me tier 4, 25%. So, let's say that my opponent gets 800k score for defeating my Ivar. I get to take 200k of that, and I don't have to do a thing.
Yep.
So I know a lot of you do the hype loots and you hit 100 shards that you can automatically take a person to hype 3, and you're instantly like, let's go look through mine here. You're like, oh, I'm so happy I have hype for this character that I'm never going to use in my entire... I probably don't have them hyped up is the issue.
Well, you could sort by hype points now, so...
Yep.
Which, great upgrade, by the way. Great,
So, right here, I can take this Kurt Angle, hype 3, so we'll pretend he's hype 3, but he has 8k talent, doesn't look like I can go any lower with him, but tier 3 is 20%. Just for people beating him, whatever they beat him with, I get points for. So they're great fillers for your roster that aren't going to get you a ton of tougher opponents. Which again could be subjective based on how the matchmaking works. But again, put in your hyped lower talent for your fillers. Yeah, Jammy's 4-star silver hype Titus O'Neil, I mean, that's going to murder everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. And the other thing, by the way, that's why like we also have to figure out how this thing goes, because one of the reasons why I think it's going to be the case that if you just quit with your whole lineup, you're not going to be able to just join a new brawl. Like I think you will have to wait the whole 30 minutes, is some people can game that system there. Like if they go in with, let's say, 7 hype 4 characters, quit immediately, you know, quickly heal their characters because like health packs aren't that scarce for a lot of people.
Yep.
And then join another brawl, keep doing the same thing over and over again. If you do that faster than you can clear a line, you're basically relying on your opponent to score for you, and it would be a hack. I don't think that's what they want to happen, so I hope it doesn't work that way, and I hope even if it does work that way, I hope they fix it.
Yeah, you would assume that, I mean, most people could finish a line in 10 minutes, let's just say average. We're not going to go for the super speeders. But even if it takes me 2 minutes to get in, get out, and get back in, that's 5 times the amount. If I have hype 4s, 5 times that is 125% score. So that's definitely something we're going to have to look out for, and that is probably the reason why we're not going to see a quit button per se on the brawl.
Yeah, a quit button would be even like a bigger problem because that would make it go so much faster.
You wouldn't lose health. Quit, go. Rapid fire.
And I can tell you, like, players on the extreme end, like the highest level players in the game, they have enough hype cards where they can just recycle. They don't even have to heal. So, yeah.
So, reviewing a little bit, as we said, new system, everything coming in. Get acclimated. Bring a roster into your first brawl you're comfortable with. If you're not, if there is a certain CSS that you're not comfortable with, or you're one of those people that are bringing Kali in, it might be best to leave him sit to the side, bring somebody else in, get comfortable, see what the system's like, see what the scoring's like before you jump straight in. For me, which is going to change a little bit because of, let me go back, how important they have made, this is where I'm looking for it, rolls, that's what I'm looking for. So how important they've made the first time win is that normally when I used to do CSS, I would run a low roster, I would run the CSS, and I would just do all the CSS in that brawl. It would be like, all right, this is going to be my PG brawl. I need to go in here and I need to beat 4 people right now. And that's how I used to do it. But that's not going to be efficient anymore. Some people, that is going to be what you need to do. Like I said, if you don't have a very strong PG, if you don't have a very strong reality, you might just have to drag somebody along and wait until you find somebody that's bringing some fodder with them.
Yep.
But again, looking at the scoring, remember, especially for the people that love big damage, every 3,000 points of damage, that doesn't reflect upon their health. That keeps growing. If you have a person that can hit 500 million, that's 500 million worth of damage. So don't be scared to hit hard and hit big. So, the next portion I would like to get into is perks. Okay. Alright. So,
look at you, big boy. You had all the CSS for the 150% gem.
I did. Yes, I did. And it's weird how they go on that. So these are the feud perks that you gained from doing the talent up portion at the beginning of the week. These are the weaker of the perks. However, taking 25% less gem damage is probably the most important thing you'll see up here. Red gems are doing 100%. Trap gems are doing 100% more damage. OchO, based on these perks alone, do any of these perks change your feud lineup in any way?
Not really. I actually don't take into consideration perks. I don't take into consideration the steel cage stuff because I don't really think it's scaled to, like if you got a plate right now that increased your gem damage by 50%, which that juggernaut plate that
right.
is terrible. Trust me, you're not even going to notice the difference in a match. Like the difference is going to be like basically a good cascade versus a bad cascade. Like you won't even notice. And so, I mean, 100% red, 100% trap. Like if there's an obvious card that does both red and trap, but the thing is, the best cards in the game don't need a boost, and cards that aren't the best, like this boost isn't going to make them the best. So like, it's not really going to be a difference maker. It's not going to be like, I need to have a red trap card. Mm-hmm. And so for me, it's not the biggest difference, but like if I was torn between 2 cards that are similar, then yeah, I'll go with the one that benefits from the perks.
Right. Okay, so the next one, and this is one that's been based on 20-hour feuds. They've been having this one where you have 6 different cards, and if you have all 6, you get a massive 150% more damage, which we looked at the last perk, and it's 25% less damage, so you do the math here and see how that evens out.
There's one.
I believe if you are missing one superstar, I think you only get 65% more damage.
Yeah, it's a big jump from like all -1.
Mm-hmm.
But so there's a comment from Shadow about Powerhouse Owens, and to me that's a perfect example. Like Owens can do like, you know, a billion damage basically. Like he doesn't need this perk. Like that's why it's not going to change anything for me.
Alright, so now let's take a look at the steel cage. Because these ones do add a little bit more than the other perks. I do believe that these ones come into play at the end and not at the beginning of the equations.
Yep.
So these are based off your overall, these aren't based off base. So again, let's look at what we have. We have 100% column break, 100% reinforce, 100% blast, 100% bleed, which is a fun one for a lot of people. 50% red, so we're seeing double red now. We're at 150% red, if I'm not mistaken, and we have 50% purple.
Yeah, so I think with the bleed one specifically, I think that's one where it actually matters what your hype level is. If you have a bleed card that's hype level 4, the bleed effect is so much higher. And because bleed is weird where it's like you don't have plates, you don't have like metals, plates, straps that really increase your bleed damage. Getting an effect like this, if you're also at a high hype level, that could be a game changer. So this is where I do care about that perk if I have a card that I have high in hype level.
So there are 2 free posters that come to mind when we talk about bleed. The first one is being Zebron Breaker, one that we just got last month. And with the hype, I've seen people with hype 4, hype 3. So what OchO just said, with the hype, with the bleed, this might be one of those characters that can help you out. I don't believe there's any bleed reversals. I don't think anybody is still using bleed immunity straps. I don't think. I don't. Maybe some other people do.
You might run into one as, you know, like,
a random, yeah.
Yeah, somebody randomly uses one, but it's not like a meta strategy.
Yeah. So somebody's using their PG and it's all they have.
Yeah.
So you might run into one. But here is a character that is definitely going to help with that bleed. And the other one that comes to mind, which was another free character, which I don't know if is available anymore. And that is Roman. I know every time a bleed substat comes up in the feud list, I know a lot of people like to take Roman out for a spin. And his bleed also just gets up there on a massive scale with that perk. So there is and the best thing about Roman is that could be your new gen. There's your tech, there's your new gen. So he offers a little bit more value in this. If you need help getting your new gen wins, you can knock that out. I see a bunch of people in chat now saying, hey, that is my new gen, that's my plan. So that'll be good. The one thing about Roman Shredder that people aren't going to like is you can't get hype for him.
Yeah, my new gen is actually a little bit of a hack that I'm happy to share with people.
Who's that?
So remember I said that 99% of the people or whatever are going to have Showboat Seth in that slot?
Yes.
I am part of the 1%.
You're using, are you using the turtle or are you using the retro?
I'm using Visionary, Radical Revolutionary Seth.
Okay.
New Gen Seth. Because he does New Gen. Mm-hmm. He fills the New Gen requirement. And if everybody else is using Seth, I've got my Hall of Fame Ron on defense, and I'm using my Acro Seth on offense against that Seth.
Correct. Yep, there's your advantage right there. He unfortunately will be another one that you're not going to have hype. Is there hype available for him? I just never got any.
I've gotten some Not a lot. Like I think I've gotten 30
If hip
total
hop,
ever.
okay, so I know the rest of them are available, so he should be available too. I just unlucked out and didn't get any. So
Yeah,
he
because
is in the
I got
loop. So okay.
I got a fair amount for Sammy, and I think I got like a 50 for Oscar.
So let's go through some errors here. For attitude, who would be a general person that isn't super rare that everybody can use?
It depends. I would say Nash, Big Kev, the striker is very common. The difference maker is if you have all three gears, he's very feud viable. If you don't have all three gears, then he's like, you not only need like two of the gears, but you also need his like the plates. So it depends.
So Macho as well, because I do believe we said there was a column bonus.
Yeah.
So a column bonus mixed with his gears, mixed with the thing. So that might be a good go-to if you have the type. I know some people still like to use DX Army HBK. He's not getting anything boosted in this one, I don't think. So
yeah.
So I don't think he's getting much help. And I just realized that there's a bottom line bonus that's 50% bleed damage. We talked about those bleed people earlier. So that is going to be a big punch up, especially if you need help punching up in the hype. If they don't reverse a sub and you have a sub bleed combo going, that is a way that you can take out those characters. So I'm going to tell everybody, take a good look at that Z Braun. If you got him, you should have got some hype for him last month. He might be that guy that's going to help you through when you face those tougher opponents, when you get that hype for, etc.
Yeah, I mean, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. You'll be like, why is he doing 50 million bleed damage per tick? And it's like, all that stuff stacks in ways that I think only some members understand.
Don't trust the number. The number's going to say something different. To be honest, I wouldn't even be surprised at this point if they tell you a letter instead of a number. But like, don't trust it. Hit the move. Don't be scared to try something out.
Like me doing 1 damage against Titan yesterday.
Yeah, your 1 damage Titan. Don't be afraid to try something. Especially now that it's 1v1. That gives you that time freedom of saying, hey, and these are what the great players do. It's like, nobody's ever thought of this, and they ask questions, and it's like, okay, it's the worst thing that's going to happen is I don't have the health packs to heal a superstar, and I got to put 1 health pack into him and do 1 brawl and then put him back in.
Yep.
So do not be afraid. Like, experimenting, I mean, that's the worst case scenario. You're like, hey, there's this perk. I wonder how this perk is going to affect. The game is weird. And the game tells you visually all kind of numbers all over the place, and that's not even including hype. So definitely be able to go in. That's another thing, is now that you don't have to wait on people, as Jamie's saying, he can make feud content now. He's not sitting there sweating bullets because he's worrying about his partner to go. You can sit there, and if you can't see the numbers, you can record it and go back and look at what numbers you hit.
Yep. It's just such a better, like, I'm so thrilled about this. Like, all the other weird stuff, like, look, I complained yesterday. I don't like what they did with the featured. There's all kinds of stuff that I have problems with. I don't care. I'm not going to post negative feedback this week because the biggest, like, keep the biggest thing in mind is that 1v1 feud is game changer.
Alright, so let's head down to Legends. Who's gonna be our sneaky good character that people can get their wins with?
Yeah, I mean, I think what's his face? Powerhouse Roman is a very common and I would say underrated character for a lot of people if you happen to have the right plate for him. He's somebody who I think of as, like, if you're a new-ish player, there's a good chance that you got him from some of the various prize walls or crates or whatever. Very easy to use. You do need that, like, what is it, break red, get blue plate to be able to use him a few times, but I think he's like kind of an easy hack, and people don't have move defense, so he's an easy one, but he's not, like top, like high-end players aren't really going to use him.
Right.
As you move up a little bit more, I would say Muda is probably like the most common card that I've seen amongst like good to great players.
You think you know me?
I mean, he speaks for himself. If you have a purple rumble plate, he's like an easy button. And I guess, I mean, if you're kind of in between, if you're like you want something better than Roman, but you don't have Muda, I don't know. I mean, maybe Dusty is the most common in that range. I'm trying to think of like who's not super OP but can still get the job done. Like, I'm a big fan of Dusty, but to be fair, you also need the Hard Times Bubba plate for him.
Yeah. Bunch of different things. I seen somebody mention Clubber. If you have Clubber, that's some bleed. So.
Yep.
So that might be a way to go.
Do not use King Kong Bundy. If you use King Kong Bundy, your feud partner will be mad at you even if you don't have a feud partner.
Yeah. King Kong Bundy might be the exception. You know what, Ocho? What if we use Sika?
I love it.
Let's throw it back and use Sika.
I will say now. So the you're mentioning the Legends era. Mm-hmm. There's an overlap there with the middle lane where there's a powerhouse slot. A lot of people, like, now we're getting into like the almost whale territory, but OchO is probably considered the number 1, number 2 powerhouse out there. So for my range of feuding, he's going to be in there, and so I'm going to not only put in OchO, but I'm also going to think of who am I going to use to beat OchO.
Correct. So moving on down into Hall of Fame, I think everybody has a Hall of Famer that they can rely on.
Yeah.
I think we mentioned Simmons earlier. I know JBL Goldberg is that Goldberg, what is it, the red set that has the unlimited sub and the protect gems?
Yeah, I mean, Lawler is great. He's probably like the best free card in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, the way I look at it is the new Hall of Famers, so JBL, Simmons, Goldberg, and Lawler, they speak for themselves. If you have them, you should know how to use them by now. If for some reason, like maybe you missed that month or you don't happen to have those, I still am a big fan of Beefcake to this day.
Beefcake, there's one I haven't used in a long time.
Yeah, I haven't really used him either, but he's still like 200 million damage kind of card, depending on what you have for him.
Yep, and then I know Hall of Fame DDP, if you get his power gems out, if you have the right trainers and stuff for him, he is a sub that recycles itself. He is a move choose for black gems. It's like you just sit there and tick people's health off.
Yeah, and the one thing I'll point out, I'll remind the people because it's a little weird, is like all the new Hall of Famers basically have the if you boost your HP, your gem damage, they reverse it. Lex will catch a lot of people off guard because he doesn't reverse that, he reverses the traps.
Correct.
So if you want to kind of troll people, which I sometimes do, he's a good shout.
Modern, I don't think we're going to have to go too much into. I mean, you could use Armor King. You could use... Modern, yeah. I'm sure everybody has at least one person that they could get. Do you even get points for winning with Modern? I don't even think you do.
I don't think so. I mean, I'll check, but...
So
no.
Modern, which is the most stacked class in the game. We have New Gen. We talked about New Gen earlier with the Roman. You have the Roman. OchO bring up his Seth. I don't think there should be too many issues for people. Anybody that's been around since the Turtle era has a turtle. All the turtles can win. Elephant Man's very viable.
And Gooker fills universal requirements, so
he does.
Yeah, so PG is where it starts to get tough because Punk and Drew are super, super OP, but not everybody has them, understandably. And so then it's like, okay, well, do you have the hologram Cena? Maybe not everybody maxed that month. So I'm gonna basically say, if you have one of those three, you know what to do. You know how to do it. If you don't have one of those three, then that's where it gets interesting, and maybe we can give people advice.
I see everybody with Kali pretty much. I'm looking just to make sure there's nobody down here that I forgot. It doesn't look like there is, and it's pretty much like the go-to outside of those characters mentioned has been Kali.
Yeah, Kali's definitely useful for that purpose. I will say, depending upon what your plate situation is, some of the new plates have made, believe it or not, Sheamus actually super, super strong. But you need either the cross break or the parrot plate. So I know it's weird. It's like if you have those very rare plates, you probably have one of the rare cards too. But if you're in a weird situation where you got the plate but not the card, take a look at Sheamus.
Yeah, this right here, if I ever have to use them, this is the build I use. It's a fun little build. You pretty much load up on the MP, and then between the traps and the sub gem, you just don't allow them to get a turn. Make sure you're not going up against a sub guy. You just have to be careful because he has a lot of things that get reversed.
Yeah.
So you're dealing with traps. You get increase MP, increase gem damage, submissions. So it can get a little... It can get bad in a hurry, but don't even think I've ever used any of his other builds. I'm trying to remember what they are. But yeah, PG is definitely one of the harder requirements if you don't have some of the select. Ruthless Aggression. Does everybody have Aussie?
Everybody's got Aussie. I mean, unless they weren't around then. I think the most common one that we see is the little guy.
Hornswoggle.
Yeah.
He's the funnest for those who have him, that's for sure.
Best gear in the game in terms of aesthetics.
I got you.
Love seeing it.
I got you.
But I think I'm not a fan of Aussie just for the RNG component of it. I mean, I know like he's fairly reliable for most people, but what I would recommend is if you don't have this little guy, this little gator, then Goldberg to me is the go-to, especially with these perks and steel cage boosts.
So you did mention Aussie. This bleed effect works on his traps.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people. I know it's we had one guy the very first time the Discord was made. You probably remember that was like, Aussie cannot be beaten. He's the greatest superstar ever, and it was because there was a bleed bonus like this.
Yep.
So
I mean, you know, like it depends on your play style, what you like. I'm just not the biggest fan of like the RNG recycle cards, but if he's your go-to, stick with him.
So here we go. We have Reality.
Yeah, Reality is an interesting one because I actually think both Devon and Bubba are very underrated by people who don't appreciate their purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Devon is actually more universal than he used to be because Howdy exists now. But the way that I used to look at Devon was he is an elite card with the asterisk as long as you use him against a showboat. And that is also true for Bubba as long as you use him against a tech.
Yep.
So for those two, it's like they're not super, super OP because you don't have a lot of versatility, but the game is moving in the direction of you using class advantage anyway. So if you're going to take that approach, then these cards are as good as it gets.
Yep. Yeah, if you know, and like OchO was alluding to, is he knows he's going to be going up against that showboat Seth all night. If you have a card that you know is going to spank a showboat, it's a good tool to have.
Yeah, and see, this is what I was kind of talking about with, you know, with the way that I configure my lineups, is I can take out my other acrobat and I could basically put him in place of that Seth, for example, and then I could put in the showboat Seth if I want. like I have different options I can play with those slots. I'm not locked into like, oh man, if I want to use Devon for CSS, I have to take out one specific card.
Correct. All right, well, let's get on to the one thing we haven't brought up yet, and that is promoters. You just mentioned using acro, so we're gonna say we're gonna say the majority of everybody, especially the way with the speed tour, everybody should definitely have at least 4 of these.
They should have at least 4 of them, and they should also probably have at least one affiliation strap, because I mean you should be able to buy one every day now.
Mm-hmm. So, looking at the value. So here's the question with what you just brought up. Let's say the CSS are done. CSS are knocked out. Now I'm grinding to max. Should I focus on my promoters, making sure everybody I have in my lineup is promoted? Or should I say, I might not have everybody promoted, but the 3 best guys on my roster are all showboats. I'm bringing them all.
Yeah, I mean, I think with the new system, if I understand it correctly, I would say the most important thing is bringing your best cards. Because if you think about it, if the choice is between I'm going to use the same card with a promoter over and over again, or I'm going to use one card with a promoter and then I have to use one card who doesn't have a promoter, I think the second of those 2 options under the new system, you're going to get a lot more points. Because even though you don't get the 50% boost from the promoter, you still get the 3x boost from using a card for the first time. So 3x is better than 1.5x.
Correct. So yeah, 50%.
But I mean, that's just to be clear though, that's me reading the way that it works. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, Scopely doesn't exactly write things perfectly.
Yeah, we'll put the disclaimer out here. We got a little bit of insight into this. We tried to make it so we understand it. The disclaimer is when it goes live, it might not be exactly how. We can always go back and correct then if it does different. I know that the main advertisement of this was you should get your points faster. You should get more points. Everything I've seen so far has indicated that even if you do the exact same thing you did before, and I think most people did pretty much focus on first time wins, is you should get more points a lot quicker than before.
Yep. I mean, I was doing some of the math on the CSS, like the event CSS within the Feud, and if I understand it correctly, other than having the brand new Seth, if you have everything else, that's around 2.3 million worth in CSS points just from that stuff. So let's just say the typical player doesn't have like all of those cards. So maybe they're missing let's say they don't have Dom yet and they're missing OTC and Drew, right? So Dom, OTC, and Drew takes off 300,000 points not having those 3 cards. You're still looking at 2 million worth in CSS that are readily available. On top of people, I think for free should probably be about 1 million points in the event right now. So even though the gold chest is at 2.979, I think quote unquote for free, just from CSS alone, you should be able to get to the first 1 or 2 bonus milestones. That's even without any feud score at all. But again, that assumes you've done everything to date. You've had the CSS for the tours. Obviously, not everybody has everything, so it's specific to your own account. Yeah,
like we said at the beginning, it is a little bit different the way the scoring is because everything is lumped into one thing. I'm not sure the exact amount of I'm not sure the exact amount of points we're supposed to get from the Blitz. That could kind of creep up on people because it's like, hey, we're supposed to have a Blitz tomorrow. We're supposed to get more points. I don't want to have to feud for those if I don't have to, because that pretty much is the goal, is that if you're not going for those leaderboards. Let's take a look at that. I don't think I ever looked at the leaderboard. Let's take a look. those are just extra coins. So
And it's not as many medallions as it looks, by the way, because they did make it like 10x. So
yeah.
I saw people were like, oh my god, there are 200 medallions, you can clear the whole prize wall. It's like, that's like the equivalent of 20.
Yeah, you cut the 0 off, and it's pretty much the same thing when you look at the prize wall. Cut the 0 off the end, and you can see the actual cost of things. This is just making it look bigger with the angle.
Big fan of that.
But again, back to the beginning. What is your goal? Is your goal to see if you can max this thing and get the loot coins at the end? Also, don't forget, because I know a lot of people buy the loot coins off the prize wall, these loot coins are going to give you points for this. So, what is it? 7 loot coins. So, a little under, what, 20k?
Yeah, I mean, the weird thing is they did take away the first time, like spend 1 loot coin for the first time. That thing is gone.
Yeah.
But I don't think that was always a big game changer anyway, to be honest. I think it was like a little overrated. So I don't mind that it's gone. But it is something to keep in mind of like, people used to buy that 7 pull from the prize wall because it got them that special bonus, and that's not there anymore.
So when you say take it away, isn't this pretty much it? It's just in a different contest now?
Yeah, I mean, it's in a different contest, but it's 20,000 now. I think, I mean, the scoring's so different. That's why it's like apples to oranges.
Yeah, it's you can't compare, and I think Scott Go Blue said it best when the initial changes first came out and the community's trying to understand it, and he's just like, there's nothing usual about this contest. Yeah, everything has been changed.
Yeah, very like overwhelming. It's hard to make sense of it, and that's why, like, to me, it's give it some time to breathe. Like, the only thing I quote unquote complained about was the featured part, and that's just because like there's real money involved with that.
The featured was something I complained about as well. I think everybody is pretty vocal on that made no sense, especially after I pulled a 6-star silver tech punk as my guaranteed. So
yeah.
All right.
But the other stuff, I mean, like, the changes are hard to absorb, and I'm not saying I know this for sure, but I actually I'm on the side of, I do think a lot of people are going to max this thing, just based on like all the bonuses that are thrown out there.
Yeah.
But there's just a lot. Like, there's a lot to digest.
Yep. And this is the first iteration of it, so do not panic. Something happens, and okay, this wasn't as easy to max as it looked. You're not getting the score XYZ. If they don't change things in the game, things get stale.
Yep.
I know everybody sees change, and everybody's like, change is terrible. No more change. Never again. And that's not... Like, the game doesn't make any progress that way. So, we did get a lot of change. We got it all at once. Give it a chance. And, like OchO alluded to, break your feedback down on the changes. What did you think of 1v1? What did you think of the loot system? What did you think of the CSS? What did you think of the matchmaking that you experienced? And that's another thing I want to bring up, because don't rely on somebody else's experiences when you bring feedback. All of us here all play the game, and we all play it a different way, and we're all going to experience things in a different manner. Me and OchO, 2 peas in a pod, there are certain items of the game we disagree with. OchO wants less content during the midweeks. I want a little bit more content throughout midweeks. There are stuff we disagree with, and neither one of us are wrong, but that's feedback that needs to be delivered from our perspective.
Yeah, I mean, the community's best off if it's balanced, right? Like, because I try to put myself in Scopely's shoes. It's like, if all you're going to do is complain about any change, no matter what, why would I listen to your complaints? Like, what's the point? Like, your feedback is just a complaint all the time. So, like, I'm not going to listen to you. But if you tell me I like this, I don't like that, then I'm going to put more weight into your complaints because, like, oh, okay, I understand. Like, you're being specific.
So.
But yeah, I would say like one other thing about this feud is you also have to like get yourself familiar. Like you're gonna realize, who am I facing most often, right? So if you're facing Yeet J, for example, it's that same thing of like, don't be afraid to adjust your lineup a couple hours in. Like you're not going to hold anybody up. You take a few minutes and say like, okay, well, here's a card that's going to be more effective against Yeet J. So just like really think about how your lineup fares against who you're facing, because in my experience, who you face over the course of a feud, like the opponents look way more similar than they look different.
Mm-hmm.
There's some changes here and there, but it's like, yeah, they're usually running the same general things.
Yep. Every once in a while, you'll get that surprise, like, that person has a hype 4 6-star gold Ryback. What? And then you find out they have them set up, too, and it gets your interest sparking. But yeah, it's... At some point tonight, every single one of us are going to get kicked in the face at least once by something we're not expecting. The nice thing is after that's over, is we can be prepared for the next time that we face it. So let it be a learning experience. Remember your reversals. Hey, at least I take a pyro user against Yeet J at least once every single feud.
Yeah, and I bet you it's the same one that I did for a long time. It was Rex.
Yep. Yeah. Every time.
Like, oh, I'm gonna use my showboat. I'm gonna use him against the striker.
Yep.
Damn.
Yeah, because that is the one quality of life change I wish they made, is I wish they showed you who you already used.
Mm-hmm.
Because for me, I just start at one person and go down the list and do a straight line, because normally my roster can beat those people. And then if I have to change up one person, like, shit, can't use them against them, they have a reversal. I don't remember who I used, where I was, what I did.
Yeah. And I'm obviously upset about that because I gave examples of the way the interface could look. So I worked their way for them of ways that they can show you who you already used.
Yeah. And then I see somebody saying that, like, lower accounts running 2 height 4s and 2 height 3s. That's kind of what they should be running, so they can get that buyback on their height. That doesn't make them undefeatable. And again, it's, if you run into that, that's your chance to adjust your roster. But don't let one bad brawl ruin your night.
Yep. And, you know, don't be afraid to go back in time with some cards that, like, they're not the flavor of the month anymore, but there are still, like, a lot of cards that I'm looking at, like, in feud options. Like, Ilya Dragunov is, to me, a perfect example. He came out maybe a year ago. He still hits super hard, and obviously if you have the plates and bells and whistles, he's going to hit even harder. Like, I'm looking at the raw requirements. You could do a lot with Striker Braun Breaker. You could do a lot with the Bunny. You could do a lot with, people laugh at me when I say this, with Brutus Creed. Yep. Like, there are cards out there that can get it done that you don't need the newest brand new card to clear a feud lane.
Yeah. Normally when I feud with Goldie, and at least once every feud it's, all right, I got to get my Trickster Solo Sokoa in. I'm like, what? And then she's like, oh yeah, he only hit about 256 million.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of cards that they get forgotten about.
Yep.
You know, like JD McDonough, Striker Dom, even people are starting to forget about. And it's like, he has an amazing reversal and he does an insane amount of damage. And he has, if you have, what's his face? Carmelo Anthony, like, he's got a great trainer.
Yep. Go back, there's been a lot. I mean, I've seen the amount of people I've seen get OTC this week.
Yep.
So there's going to be a lot of new things. There's going to be stuff to play with. There's going to be stuff to experiment. I'm going to tell y'all ahead of time, if you got that Sheamus from last month, and if you got Z Braun Breaker for this feud, take a look at their submissions. I know there's certain people that are like, submissions in this meta, in this day and age? I'm pretty sure I have Z Sheamus's submission hitting for 160 million by the time his submission's done. And I know that other zombies have submission reversals, and everybody else, I can just submit and win a match. And I know a lot of hype got out for those characters, so they could be your characters tonight as my pick for a cheat code to get you over the hump, to face the hype if you get into that matchmaking issue. So just a little bit of only with hype, or I'm not even counting hype. Like here, I could show you. I got it up here. Let me find where that Marshmallow Man is. I think I passed him. Probably pass him 6 more times. There he is. So. Oh, I don't have anything on him right now. But let me run him with the, Have I never run him with woods in my life? No, I know we can definitely hit more than that, so... Other filters we need in game. There we go. So let's run with that. Sammy for 100%. These two on. So this setup right here with getting none, what do we got here? 30, 60, so what, that's 75.
And if he's hyped forward, it does more damage.
Yeah, the height makes all the difference.
You got him at 3.
I have him at
It's
3.
more like, yeah, it's still a hot.
Don't think we get any more from that. But I remember last feud, he was absolutely stomping. You don't need the extra because you can just match a 3-match of purple. Me remembering. Yeah. So the other option, let me see if this does more. I don't think it does. She's not on here either.
I think you can... Oh, never mind.
Last feud at a sub bonus. Maybe it did. But yeah, with the hype... Oh, you get +1 from purple down here too, so that could change some things up. But Sheamus, and then definitely, like we alluded to earlier, you get bleed here, you get bleed with the line bonuses. So I will put Z-Brawn up just to see what type of craziness we can get that up to.
And I think with Sheamus, I think Sonya might be better than Sammy.
It'll take me a year to find them because for some reason they're not. Wait, the bleed button should work, right? You would hope.
Yeah.
There he is. So there's our bleed. Purple. So we need here 6. Their damage would be bleed. So not including hype here. That's a 12.4 million bleed for 3 turns. So you multiply that by 150%. So 24.8, throw another 6 on there, give or take. We're looking at about 35 million for 3 turns. And that's not including hype being factored in, or that's not including if I'm facing somebody that's defensive. So you literally hit that sub and it's game over for the majority of people. And then like I said, it's a sub, so you get to go right back into it unless they have sub reversal. That's the beefier sub, but that doesn't pull up the black. Yeah, Moment's health boost as well. But we have went over. We are approaching the 6:30 mark. We have 37 minutes until Feud. Does anybody have any direct questions for us?
I mean, Southside probably has some NSFW questions, but
No, that's for the after party.
yeah.
Can you go to bed now, Jamie? No, you can't go to bed. You have to Feud.
Yeah, you should have been in bed already.
Yeah,
Should be waking up now.
we're gonna have to put Jamie on the loser list.
Yeah.
So, as where do we file our Feud complaints? Do we have a McGriddle in the morning? Yeah, that's a good question now. You don't need the McGriddle to wake you up anymore. But,
yeah.
Going back over it, like we said, start off at the beginning, bring your best person. Don't jump into it trying to get all your CSS done right away. Maybe just bring one with you, see what the matchmaking waters are going to be like. Take advantage of your perks. Your zombies from last month, people should have at least hype 3 of because you had to have had better RNG than me.
Yep.
So.
And if there's a card you keep losing to, like if you lose to the same card 2 or 3 times, figure out why, and I'm sure there's some kind of counter you can come up with.
Mm-hmm. Don't be afraid to use your MP down. Put it in a prospect. Like I said, also don't be scared. You don't have to check every single person. You go into a match and you're like, oh, I don't have this MP down. Oh, I just remembered this person has a reversal. You can shut the game down. Just close the app, reopen the app, redo the battle, set up to win it. You don't have to wait on a partner anymore. You can take that extra 1 minute that you take every 4 feuds is going to save you that extra 2 minutes you did looking through every single opponent on your roster. It's just more proficient in the end. If you are struggling for health packs, I don't think anybody else is at this point with how many they're giving out. But you can put 1 health pack into a character, go run a feud without them in your lineup. They're going to be healed by the time you get back out. Put them back in, get back to kicking ass. Don't have to use, yep. So, Xandal asked a question as hype is kind of just an overall thing in the game now. So, he's asking for advice, and I think that would be a nice add-on here. Your wild card hype, who on your roster is worthy, and who should you be putting that into?
So, I kind of have 2 takes on this. The first one is, unfortunately, because they don't have female titans yet, I don't think it's as worthwhile to put hype into female cards right now. So I hope that changes, and if that changes, I would change that opinion. But that's my take right now, is like your wild card hype, you should reserve it for male characters that you can use against the Titan. That's number 1. Number 2 is, I'm not a fan of the way that you can't go over the hype limit, because if you have a card hype 4 and you get more hype for that card, you just get a very, very small amount of hype loot coins. It should, in my opinion, it should be more. And so because of that, I don't love taking a card to hype 4, running up to that limit with wild cards. I like using my wild cards on cards that are either like hype 0, 1, or maybe 2, because then they're at least usable. Like I can use them in Titan restrictions. I can use them in like Showdown and Tour viably. Like it's hard right now in the game to use a hype 0 card. Like it's just kind of past time for that. So that's where I use my wild card. I don't know about you.
For me, it's kind of the same, and the best example that I can use this month is Axe. All I wanted to do all month was take him 4. It's like, I want to get him 4, he's badass, he has some stuff that can't be reversed. However, in the loot this month, I have an X% chance because of where he is looted. He is in this mega rare portion, which you have a 20% chance, almost 21, of hitting 1 of 5 cards. So if you have that chance, other than me that cannot hit MLC hype to save my life, definitely don't spend it on Kofi until the month is over. Don't spend it on Demolition or this Axe until the month is over, because you have a lot better chance of hitting this narrow pool than you do hitting the pretty much deep ocean of randomness that you could get. So definitely, unless it's like 5, I'm a big component of if it's 5 to get them an additional hype, if it's going to make your life better, if it's going to make your feud life better, you're going to get at least 5 universal hype back in the next time you run the Titan. So if it's 5, go ahead and spend it, get yourself up. I want to use them for feud, go ahead, take them up. However, if it's not, and another one that I want to mention is the other place that you can get hype in the game, and that is the Titan Takeover store. There are some good character hype in here. Jacob Fatu, OTC. There's some good shards as well if you can get them to pop up. I've seen a bunch of people that are big on Gacy. I've seen Gacy solo at old tier 4 Titan. So this is definitely a place to look for. But again, OTC, I'm not going to spend on OTC because I can RNG it in the shop 3-4 days out of the week.
Yeah. Big Pig Boy fan over here.
Yep. Yeah, Gacy number 1. But I think we are going to wrap it up. I want to thank everybody for coming out here. I want to thank OchO for putting all this together to begin with. This has been great. This has been informative. I've been getting messages like, when's the next one? Is this out yet? Is this on YouTube? I need to watch it. So it's always good to hear. Hopefully it helps people. We do know, like we said, everything is changing in this feud. So while in the old logic, it's like we're feud experts, there is a little bit of unknown to this, so we're just giving our best forward advice that we can give based on our perception and educated experience of it. So
yeah, we're not pros. We're just 2 dudes with phones.
Yeah. But with that, I believe you only have 1 episode left of the Choose Greatness series. It is preliminary scheduled for Monday, I believe, currently. And that will be starting a new account and priorities with Goldie. So if you missed Goldie, she should be around. That should be very fun. I think everybody can also gain experience of that because a lot of us didn't get the proper training at the beginning of the game of, hey, this is what I need to prioritize. Because a lot of times that doesn't change. I'm still prioritizing the same stuff that I did a month into the game that I am now, with the exception of new currencies and things like that. But alright, OchO, if you want to take us out, if you got anything to say.
I got nothing special to say. I'm super excited for the next episode. I think it's going to be great. All of these 5 have been great so far. Thanks to everybody who participated, all the viewers, all the co-hosts, and it's been a blast, and we're never doing it again after Monday.
Yep, that's it. We're shutting this shit down. No exceptions. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get out of here. But if you do get out of here, this will be posted on Goldie's YouTube later. I believe it's that girl Goldie. It might be Goldie's Gaming. Look them all up. I mean, what's the difference? There's nothing Goldie that isn't good. So do that. I will talk to y'all later. Best of luck in Feud tonight. Maybe you'll come across me. Maybe you'll come across OchO. If you have a good experience against us, so did we. If you had a bad experience against us, it's Bob's fault. So, See everybody later. Goodbye. Good night.
Stuff.